And welcome back to Lantern Corp video. Today we have from Zero Lancer and Brandon Whitman. What Lantern Corp does the Primera Espada number 1, Coyote Starrk belong in? Now, if you're not familiar with the manga / anime Bleach, well, he's a character from said manga / anime. He was part of a villainous organization that was tasked to fight the good guys, and he was ranked number 1. Technically, though, he wasn't the strongest. But whatever. So, I mean, I'm not going to go into an in-depth explanation on the character, obviously. You can find that out for yourself. Anyone who knows the character will obviously get what I'm going with, where my choices go, at least. I will say this. The Starrk isn't human, but he's not like a demon. Technically, hollows, I guess, are demons. They're negative evil spirits that consume souls to fill in that side, peepees and poopies, girl, so that eat souls to fill in the hole in their heart. They have a hollow, hence you can see there's a hole in his chest. Arancars are hollows that were able to basically remove the mask they wear and take on the abilities of Shinigami or Soul Reapers, and that is what the Arancar are. There's something beeping out there. Not sure what it is. I'm guessing it's from across the street somewhere. And so the question is, based on his character, his personality, what Lantern Corps do I think he would belong in? Now, I want to get a couple Lantern Corps out of the way first before we get into it. Number 1 is that I don't think he's a Green Lantern. The reason for that is he's so laid back and so kind of not caring or wanting to get involved that I don't think green really suits him. It's not to say that he is afraid or that he lacks willpower, but great willpower and ability to overcome great fear is not really Stark's forte. It's not his thing. We should also note right out of the gate that the character of Starrk is dead. Like, he has not come back. And there are characters who die and come back. So right at the bat, by all accounts, he should be a Black Lantern. But that's no fun. So I'm going to have to see what that beeping is. Whoop, excuse me, Papa. So with that being said, if he was alive, what Lantern Corps do I think he would be in? Like I said, I don't think he's a Green Lantern. Most, if not all, the Espada, right from the get, because they're the villains, they're the antagonists, would qualify in some level for yellow, some more than others. When we talk about a couple different Espada besides this guy, they would definitely qualify a lot more for yellow than for the Lantern Corps fear than Starrk would. So, while fear is certainly an option, I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. He was way too calm and collect and kind of lazy for the Lantern Corps of Rage. And he just didn't carry rage with him. It just wasn't his style. Now, one I do want to talk about, and it's very odd to talk about, is the Lantern Corps of Love, Star Sapphires. Now, love, when it comes to the Sapphire Lantern Corps, it's not just about, romantic love. It can be lust. It can be desire, things along those lines. That sounds like the beeping stopped. It can be desire. It can be anything like that can qualify you for this Lantern Corps, but it has to be related to the emotion. The reason I say it's odd is because Stark's actual main ability, all the Espada had something kind of unique to them. And Stark's ability was that he could actually deviate and split his soul into multiple parts from his main soul. He actually started out as one being and split himself into 2 beings. His vice captain Lilieto, who is the girl you see with him constantly with him, is actually his sealed power. And we see that he can do that even further with his ability by creating, like, God knows how many wolves and just keep going. Each one can just explode with power. In his original form, every creature that came around him was just dying. Now, I say this because it's an interesting concept in the sense of his relationship to Lilieto, because she clearly is important to him despite their constant back and forth and bickering and lack of actual love towards each other, but they clearly care very much for each other as friends and as comrades. So, I, and when she was killed, he was visibly upset by that. So I gotta question whether or not that could really qualify him for love. Is he doing what he's doing out of love, or is he doing it out of desire of not being alone? For my money, it's more out of the desire of not being alone rather than having love for someone. So I don't think he would qualify. I think it's fair to bring it up in the conversation. There's no way he's a lantern of orange. He's not an avarice lantern. Now I know that the orange lantern of avarice does increase your greed upon wearing it, but you still have to have that greed to begin with. You still have to have that selfish desire and all that, and Stark just never had that. The only thing he wanted was comrades and friends who wouldn't die around him, and he got that. Compassion's another one. It's like he's not compassionless. Like he would rather not fight. He'd rather give the option of people just surrendering. But he's also not like the most. He's kind of a Shikamaru type. It's like such a drag. And, it's kind of like that with him. He'd rather just take a nap. So can't really qualify him for that one either. Last one to talk about that I don't think he qualifies for is Hope. And Blue is another one that's kind of weird. Because he hoped he could meet someone that would be strong enough to survive his presence, be a comrade with him besides him and Lilietto. But he met Aizen, the other Espada, and they survived being around him. But ultimately, whether or not that would qualify him for Hope or not, I don't think that would work because he ultimately got what he needed. He got comrades. He found people that would not. He found friends, if you will. So unless he could inspire hope in people, there's no real reason he qualified for a Blue Lantern ring. Now, the one other one I wanted to address, and it's the only other one I actually brought an image up for, because it's the only other one I think he might qualify for, is a White Lantern ring. Now, why would I say that when he clearly killed so many individuals by with just his mere presence alone? Well, it's not like he intends to do that. He does not intend to. It's involuntary, and that alone might detract him from getting a White Lantern. But the fact of the matter is, he can literally create a new life by dividing his soul into a new being. He literally create like dozens upon dozens of wolves that are just into existence, living, breathing at parts of his soul. That very much strikes me as life, as the ability to create life in that level. Now, the downside is he's not a character who tries to live his life to the fullest or anything like that, to experience life. He's not a character who is going out of his way to nurture life or anything like that. And he did kill a lot of creatures involuntarily. But after he became an Arrancar, he's a natural born Arrancar too. That's something we should address. He wasn't born through Aizen's methods, as some other ones were. He's I don't know. It's one of these where it's like, yeah, in his early days, he was just killing hollow characters just by being around him because he was so powerful. But then later on, he gained the ability to control that and meet characters that wouldn't happen. And his ability to create life, I think, does warrant mentioning towards the White Lantern Corps. But ultimately, I think it more comes down. First off, he's a Black Lantern as it is. He's dead. Take that out of the equation. I think it comes down mostly to white or fear. And I'm probably going to go with fear just because of the problem where he did kill a bunch of characters in his early years, and he'd still probably kill lesser individuals around him just by being there. He's that strong. So unfortunately, I think that detracts him from being a White Lantern. So I think fear is the most likely candidate. Honestly, there is no real strong answer for someone like Stark. He's very different than most characters, say, in the DC universe in terms of his personality. But ultimately, that is just my opinion. I'll say yellow, with white probably being a secondary. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, he's black because he's dead. But yellow after that, if he were alive, White as a secondary, maybe an argument for Sapphire. But I can't see really any of the other ones very well. What do you think? Do you think yellow fits them, or do you think any of the other four fit them, or do you think any of the ones I don't think fit them actually fit them? Put in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something? Put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point, and hit that bell if you want notifications. I'll see you on Wednesday for the What If, folks. Have a good one.